Hi Platform, my name is Savannah Brown and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about spoken word poetry for National Poetry Day. We'll talk a little bit about sort of the conception of an idea and how to grow that into a poem and then how to perform it. So the first thing you sort of need to do is find what inspires you, which sounds like a massive topic, and that's because it is. But on a day-to-day basis, it's sort of just about finding the things that really interest you and compel you to want to sort of explore more. What I like to do when I've decided I would like to write about something is, I guess it's a mind map, where you sort of take a blank page and put your topic in the center of the page and then just branch off into any direction you can think of, write literally any word you can associate with that topic, just anything, and you'll be surprised by what you can actually draw back to the topic, and actually it might go in a different direction than you even intended it to in the first place. And then from there, I like to do a sort of stream of consciousness exercise where I'll sort of take all those different ideas and try to put them into a sort of narrative, I guess, the flow of the poem, sort of consider what it would look like from start to finish by incorporating all of those different elements. Obviously, the topic you choose is entirely up to you, whether it's actual sort of physical things in your life, whether you want to write about like trees or the sky or nature or whatever, or if it's sort of more idea-based, so you want to write about love or guilt or those sorts of things, or obviously a lot of spoken word poetry too is issue-based, so it can be sort of bigger topics like that as well. It can literally be anything. So when you actually start writing, I like to sort of continue that stream of consciousness exercise, I guess, and all poetry to me is sort of about, the writing process is about branching off into different ideas. So what I like about poetry is its specificity, sort of, its ability to focus on one thing and explore it really intimately. But like I said, as you go, there'll be aspects of it that maybe you hadn't even considered in the first place. So I think just continuing that stream of consciousness, literally writing anything that pops into your head. Additionally, one of my favorite things about writing is sort of playing with word choice. So whether that's like alliteration or those sorts of things, especially since it's spoken word, I like to sort of consider while I'm writing how it will sound when read aloud. After all this, there will come a point when you're wondering if it's finished or what a finished poem actually looks like. And I think the answer is only you know that. And I think, especially with poems, because they are so short, you have the luxury of sort of laboring over every word, but at the same time that can almost be a curse, because it's, at least for me, I'm very much a perfectionist, so it's a lot of fiddling and changing and playing around. But I like to just do one last read through, and if you like how it sounds and you like what you're trying to say, I think don't push it. Poems obviously don't have to be long, they can be whatever you want them to be, but I think when it feels right, it's probably right. When you're finished, it will come time to hopefully perform it, whether that's for YouTube or if you're actually going somewhere and performing, which is very exciting. As someone who's been performing spoken word for a really long time, also as someone who did sort of theater and speech and debate in high school, the biggest tip is to speak slowly. Especially with spoken word, I think there's an inclination to sort of get into the rhythm of it, but by getting into the rhythm, you're actually just talking really quickly, and then no one can understand all the words you're saying that you spent so much time sort of crafting. So do yourself a favor, I think, is what it comes down to, and really be mindful to how quickly you're speaking so people can actually understand you. One of the perks of reading your own poetry is that you know exactly how it should sound. And I think that's honestly one of my favorite parts of it, is you know where the pauses go, you know where the emotion is, you know where the climax is, if there is one. So again, I think it really is just respecting your own work almost, and taking the time to appreciate what you've made and just figure out how to present that in the most compelling way possible. And I need to say it, have fun. It should be fun. If it's not fun, then you're probably doing it wrong. Obviously, writing, if you're passionate about it, it should always be fun, and your enjoyment of what you're doing should always come first, I think. So just have fun with it, and I think that'll really come across when you're performing. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any additional tips, feel free to leave them in the comments, and yeah, happy National Poetry Day.